The VFW hall smelled like coffee and floor wax. Flags lined the wall, a brass plaque catching the light. I stood by the registration table, bitter card tucked under my palm. The old jukebox in the corner hummed a faded 70s tune through one working speaker. Chairs scraped. Voices dropped as the auctioneer tested the mic. Lot 32, he said. Single-family home on Maple. As is. Dale Mercer turned his shoulder just enough to look at me. Tan blazer, loud cologne, smile like a corkscrew. He spoke soft, meant for me and anyone listening. Your house is worthless. My cheeks warmed, but I kept my voice low. We'll see, he smirked, chin tilted. Stay out of deep water! The auctioneer rapped his gavel once, sharp, like a snapped twig. My heartbeat matched it. I could taste the paper dryness of the bitter card's edge. Marge from the Legion poured coffee and slid a styrofoam cup toward me. Steady hands, she murmured. Opening bid crawled out. 20,000. Dale lifted his paddle without looking up. 25, the mic hissed. 30, a voice behind me tried, then fell quiet. 35, Dale said, exhaling through his nose like he'd stepped on an ant. I heard my father's hammer in my head, the way it used to ring on weekends when we fixed the porch. Don't chase anger, kiddo. Chase facts. I lifted my card. 36. Dale finally faced me. He blinked once, amused. Bold. He wagged 2 fingers. 40. The room tightened. Someone coughed. A spoon tapped ceramic like a metronome. I breathed in the coffee steam, let it settle. 41, I said. He leaned closer, a whisper with teeth. It's a money pit. Taunt number 2. I counted it, then set it down in my mind like a nail. Any advance on 41? The auctioneer called. A fan above us ticked slow, slicing the heat. Dale's paddle rose again. 45. My pulse was high but steady. I tapped the edge of the blue folder under my arm. County seal embossed, cool against my skin. 46. The auctioneer's brow arched. We have 46. Do I hear 48? Dale's smile thinned. He lifted his paddle. 48. A tiny hush gathered. Marge refilled the urn. Somewhere, a chair creaked like an old boat. I tucked a hair behind my ear and let my voice carry to the mic. 50. The gavel hovered. People shifted to see. Dale's smirk returned. Lazy, certain, practiced. I kept my eyes on the number board and felt the paper heat in my palm. The auctioneer drew breath, then stopped as the door opened and a cold draft rolled across the hall. Mini cliffhanger. Who just walked in, and why now? Before there were paddles and gavels, there was a porch with peeling paint, and a father who taught me to count boards, not worries. Saturday morning smelled like pancakes, oil from the mower, and the cedar box where Mom kept tax receipts. I was 12 when Dad showed me the ledger he'd started the year I was born. Pencil lines. Tidy dates. Every repair a promise to our house. Then came the layoff, and the hospital bill after his second shift accident. We sold the truck. We stretched coupons. We learned the rhythm of waiting rooms and payment plans. When he passed, the house breathed like it was holding me together. I took 2 jobs, ran on coffee and stubbornness, and kept the water heater alive with YouTube videos and plumber's tape. That's when Dale showed up. Real estate grin, shiny flyers, cheap pen. He patted the railing Dad had mended twice. You're young, he said. Take cash, walk away, start over. He named a number like he was tossing a tip. I said no. He laughed from his throat, eyes skimming our porch swing like it offended him. Later, I learned he was the kind who bought widows' homes after storms and sold them at triple. He ate at the steakhouse near the highway and told waiters to surprise him, then sent surprises back. Around town, people said he knew loopholes the way fishermen know currents. When the county posted the tax auction list, my breath caught at the typo beside our address, an old assessment dispute logged wrong by a clerk who'd retired last spring. I drove to the annex, sat under the humming lights, and explained twice. We'll review, they said. These wheels turn slow. My stomach turned slower. I reached the VFW hall early that morning. The floor smelled like varnish and history. Shadows of medals hung in the dusty glass case, names from wars older than my parents. I pressed my palm to that blue folder like a promise. Inside, a letter with the county seal, signed and notarized last night at 4:58 p.m., and a cashier's check with my name. I wasn't just here to keep a roof. I was here to correct a line and keep a promise. Now, back under the flags, I watched Dale hold court with two men in golf shirts. He tapped his phone, showing photos, talking comps, smirking between sips of something sweet. "It's distressed," he said. "She'll break by 40. The golf shirts nodded like bobbleheads. The door that just opened? That was Mr. Whitcomb from the annex. Tie crooked, breath fogging in the draft. He carried a thin briefcase and looked like he'd jogged the last block. He scanned the room until our eyes met. I felt the old ledger's ghost in my fist and steadied my breath. 50 from the young lady, the auctioneer repeated, louder now. Do I hear 52? Dale rolled his wrist, indulging himself. 52. I brushed the folder's edge again and heard Dad's hammer in the backbeat of the jukebox. I whispered, "Stay with the facts, Carol." 53, I said. The auctioneer nodded. "We have 53. Any advance?" Whitcomb raised a hand. Not a bid, but a pause. "Point of information," he called. Heads turned. Coffee hissed. Dale's mouth tightened. The auctioneer frowned, gavel hovering midair. Mini cliffhanger. What information? And who does it help? "State your point, sir," the auctioneer said, voice careful. Whitcomb cleared his throat. "Clerical matter regarding lot 32. He tapped his briefcase. "I have an update for the record." Dale chuckled low. "We're bidding, not knitting." The room's temperature shifted. Attention, suspicion, a little hunger for a scene. I swallowed the copper taste of nerves and kept my bidder card steady. "Proceed," the auctioneer said. Whitcomb opened the briefcase, paper edges whispering. "As of yesterday, 4:58 p.m., the county recognizes a corrected assessment entry for 414 Maple. Taxes are not delinquent. However, due to listing protocols, Lot 32 remains up for bid unless a party presents a qualifying authorization." A ripple moved through the chairs. Someone muttered, "What's that mean?" A spoon clinked against a mug again, faster now. Dale leaned toward the mic. "It means nothing changes, folks." He lifted his paddle, theatrical. 55. I could feel the smooth cardstock warming in my grip. "Calm, Carol. Give them the headline they remember." I raised my card. 56. He shot me a look, closer to annoyed now than amused. "You're bidding with feelings." The jukebox stuttered, found the chorus of a song my mom likes to hum when she mops. I let that steady me. "I'm bidding with numbers." The auctioneer scanned us both. "We have 56. Do I hear 58? Dale's jaw ticked. 58? Marge stepped near my shoulder like a lighthouse. "Breathe, honey," she said. Her hand smelled faintly of lemon cleaner and cigarettes. I breathed. I tilted the blue folder just enough for Whitcomb to see the seal peeking out. His eyebrows climbed half an inch. He set a paper on the lectern, coughed into his fist, and didn't look at Dale. 60, I said. The word left my mouth cleaner than I felt. A murmur spread. Dale's golf shirt friends exchanged a look. One of them whispered, "She's not bluffing." He lifted his paddle anyway. 61. 62. The gavel hovered. 63. He snapped, control cracking. I let the space breathe. The fan ticked once, twice. The flag rope clicked against the pole. The smell of coffee deepened as someone stirred in fresh grounds. I could feel the file's corner press into my wrist. A reminder. Facts, not fury. "I raise one," I said, voice clear. 64. That line moved like a small tide across the room. The thumbnail beat made flesh. People turned to watch Dale, waiting for the smirk. It didn't come. He blinked, lips parting. The auctioneer lifted his mic. 64 going once. "Hold," Dale said, breath sharp. He forced a smile that didn't fit his face. "Let's be certain we're all legal here." Whitcomb's voice was even. "We are. The county's note stands. Any qualified party may prevail at auction." Dale ran a thumb along his paddle's edge, like he expected splinters and found none. "Fine," he said. 65. My fingers found the folder's spine, cool and certain. I pictured Dad's ledger line where he'd penciled, "Porch step number 3, fix when warm." Patience. "Do it right." 66. A hush landed, soft but real. Somewhere near the back, the coffee urn began its tiny percolator pops again, like rain on a tin roof. The auctioneer glanced at Whitcomb, then at me, then at Dale. Dale's smile returned, brittle. "Your house is—" He stopped, checked himself, swallowed the third insult. The room noticed. 66 going once, the auctioneer said. Going twice, the exit sign hummed, red and steady. My heart ticked with it. I slid the blue folder out from my arm and rested it on my palm. Sold, pending verification, the auctioneer said, gavel descending. And Dale raised a finger. Verification starts with her. He pointed at the folder. Mini cliffhanger. Do I open it now? And what exactly is inside? I stepped forward into the aisle. The floorboard spoke under my shoes. Old wood telling old stories. I set the blue folder on the lectern, the county seal catching the ceiling light. My fingertips felt the emboss, raised, cold, real. This is a notarized correction letter, I said, steady. And a bitter authorization. Whitcomb adjusted his glasses. Dated yesterday? Time-stamped 4:58 p.m. I slid the letter free. Paper rasped, acknowledging the assessment error and authorizing me, as acquisitions coordinator for Maple Veterans Housing Trust, to cure the listing by purchase at fair auction. Marge whispered, Veterans. Trust? And the word moved through rows like a respectful wind. Dale's head twitched. You, coordinator? I met his eyes. I work part-time at the diner. Full-time, I help place vets into safe, fixed-up homes. We buy right, renovate right, and honor service. I tapped the second document. This is a cashier's check to cover taxes, fees, and immediate repairs. The auctioneer cleared his throat softer than before. The flags behind him seemed brighter. Whitcomb read the letter, lips moving once on a paragraph about statutory authority. He nodded once, then again. It's in order. I heard the jukebox catch a familiar guitar lick my dad used to whistle. The smell of coffee met the dry scent of paper and old varnish. My mind steadied on one line. Respect outlives wealth. Dale tried a laugh that didn't land. Folks, this is theater, Whitcomb's voice cut clean. It's county business. He looked at the auctioneer. Proceed to confirmation. I turned to the room. I grew up in that house. My dad kept a ledger for every repair. I'll keep his promise with better wiring and a new roof. Veterans first. My voice trembled, then settled. We do good work. There was a long human second of silence that wasn't empty. It was full. Chair legs shifted. Someone clapped once, then stopped, unsure. Then an older man with a navy cap stood and clapped twice. Others followed, not loud, but steady. Dale's face changed by degrees, tan paling under the lights, mouth a flat line. The smirk slid clean off like a sticker in hot water. I set the cashier's check on the lectern. To finalize. The auctioneer's gavel hovered, as if asking permission from the room's history. He looked at Dale. Any advance? Dale opened his mouth, then closed it. His paddle hung low, suddenly heavier than wood. Final call at 66, the auctioneer said. He drew breath. Sold, he finished, and the gavel's crack felt like a door closing on a storm. Dale didn't move. He just stared at the folder, the seal bright as a medal. Mini cliffhanger. After the sale, what consequence lands? And how does Carol exit with dignity? Paperwork flowed like a small river. Signatures, initials, a receipt that curled warm from the printer. The room loosened, talk rising like birds after thunder. The navy-capped gentleman approached, hand out. Frank, he said. Korea. His palm was dry, grip careful. Good on you. Thank you, I said. We'll make it right. Marge pressed a ceramic mug into my hands. Not styrofoam this time. For the coordinator, she grinned. The coffee smelled like every Saturday of my childhood. I let the heat soak my fingers. Dale finally spoke, voice thinner. You misled everyone, I met his gaze. I answered every bid. He looked past me to Whitcomb. You bent rules, Whitcomb zipped his briefcase. We followed them. The golf shirts had migrated toward the door, pretending to check emails. Dale stood alone beside the flag stand, the red rope gently clicking against the pole. Tick, tick, tick. He swallowed, tried for bravado, found none. Enjoy your money pit, I smiled once, small. We'll enjoy the work. Outside, the November air smelled like leaves and a hint of gasoline from a passing truck. The hall's brick held the day's warmth. I rested my palm on the cool blue folder and felt the raised seal one more time, like a compass point. Inside were copies, stamped and neat. Inside me, a steadier breath. The older man with the navy cap stepped out behind me, his boots scuffing the sidewalk. He touched the brim, I remember when this hall was packed wall to wall, he said. Laughter so loud you had to shout your name. He looked at the sky. Good to see it used right. It'll hear hammers soon, I said. New roof before snow. He smiled. Bring the coffee. We'll bring stories. I turned toward Maple Street. The house at the end of the block was waiting. Porch boards counting steps, windows squinting in the late sun. My phone buzzed. A text from my supervisor at the trust. Proud of you. Keys tomorrow. Behind me, the door opened again. Dale stepped out, saw Frank shaking my hand, and paused like he'd hit a wall only he could see. He swallowed, face pale as primer. No one looked his way. I lifted my chin, the way Dad taught me before big moments. Steady hands, steady eyes. Respect outlives wealth, I said softly. A truth more than a slogan. I walked home with the folder under my arm, the jukebox chorus still in my head, and the sound of the gavel fading into the kind of quiet that feels like a promise kept.